Sarah with NextGEN Medium. This week we're diving into documenting your spiritual experiences. I call it psychic journaling just to get you here, but it's much broader than just psychic. Psychic, your intuitive, your mediumship, whatever it consists of, it's all of the stuff. This week we're going to talk about what to document, how to document. I'm going to show you how I do it and how important it was for me to document, why it's important for you. That's this week on NextGEN Medium, the vlog. Hey there, Sarah with NextGEN Medium. I'm a psychic medium. Really, I'm just aware of my psychic mediumship, intuitive abilities, and that's why I'm here talking to you, so I can help you in your journey. And one of the most important things that I ever did in this journey was to write things down. It would seem like that's a super obvious thing, but I feel like I have to go out of my way and just make sure that this is being done by you when you are exploring your psychic intuitive mediumship abilities. It gives you the permission to have soul focus on your experiences. It's a way for you to acknowledge what has happened. It also allows for you to analyze and be like, I'm better at this psychic ability than I am at this one, or I need to work on this psychic ability, or is that psychic or is that intuitive? It also allows for the many experiences to be documented in one place, and maybe for your own acknowledgement of saying, this happens a lot, and these are psychic abilities. These are intuitive abilities. I have opened the door. But having this document allows for you to have retrospection. It allows for you to document your insights, to gain further understanding, appreciation, gives you direction with your abilities. So important, and it's been important in my journey to see all the evidence laid out in front of me, and it's like after a while so much accumulates and you're like, I can't deny this anymore. It is for real. Let's start with what you need. So you will need a journal. I have one around somewhere. Let me get it. Oh my God, I found it. All right, so I have a physical journal, Lecterm 1917. I think I said 1918 in the podcast. That's not good, but it is a fairly large journal. What's cool about it is the way that I journal is I actually do bullet journaling, which was a fad a couple years ago. I'm very utilitarian, so it's a way for me to make sure I use every space of paper. And look, I even got a big picture in there that you can take a look at. But this is my journal. This one's hardcover, so when you are writing in there, you have a nice stable surface. It also is numbered. It has page numbers in it, and also includes an index in the beginning, which is perfect for my bullet journaling. I like to have a special book for my special thing. I also use a specific pen because I like to write, and I like to, okay, my hands are filthy, but this one's a Uniball. It's either Signo or Sino. I'm guessing Signo because that's cooler sounding. Micro 207. 207, area code for Maine. But this is the pen that I use. It writes very small, which is crucial for me because I write small. Or you can even go digital. Actually, for a little bit, I was using Google Forms. I built like a template, and I would submit a new form every day or every time I had an experience that I wanted to make sure was documented. So that's one way that you could do it. I will say with this big journal, it's hard to tote it around with me. So when something does happen, I have to fish around for a piece of paper, or I grab my phone and get into my Google Keep notes or my Asana or the hundreds of other places that I document just about everything. If you go digital, then if you have an app or something where you can journal things, that would make it a lot easier. But I'm an analog girl when it comes to making special things, so I like to write, and it makes it sort of ritualistic, where I can sit down and just not have a screen in front of my face. So that's my journal. Now, there are categories that I'm going to suggest to you that you focus on when it comes to documenting your experiences. But first, when it comes to your entries in your journal, these are the things that you should be putting in there. First of all, put the dates. The date is so important to put in there. You can see how long it took for something to transpire, if it does transpire. For me, I noticed that I have precognitive dreams 2 days before something happens. So I almost have a buffer day to kind of get it together in my head that, okay, this thing's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be emotionally prepared for if it does happen. You can kind of distinguish the timeline of things. Also, if you are practicing doing readings on other people, it allows for you to understand how far you can see for people when it comes to your psychic abilities. Also, you're gonna put in what you experienced, what you would label it as part of your category system, a meditation that you just had, if it was a dream that you're documenting, if it's a synchronicity you're noticing. This way, when you're fishing through your journal, you have a way to quickly get to the categories that are pertinent to each other. Also, when it comes to documenting your experiences, include who was a part of it, because that can also give you insight. And maybe even what Claire was present with these experiences, whatever they are. I have a full list of categories for you to check out and examples that go along with them at my blog at nextgenmedium.com that you can check out just to maybe clarify things a little bit for your categorization. For me, with bullet journaling, I actually have the ability to linearly put things into my journal, like by the dates. So I had a dream yesterday, and then my next entry could be a synchronicity event that I wanted to just document. And then tomorrow I'll have something else. So it goes by time. But with my index, I'm able to put, I had a dream entry, it's on page blah. And that way, when I'm reviewing my dream stuff, I can see in my index where to draw from when it comes to my dream stuff, and maybe gain some insight with Claire's that are most prominent. Something else that I would put forward is that I would recommend that you don't review your journal for maybe 3 months at a time. I don't think becoming completely obsessed with your journal will help you in your journey, because you need to experience and focus on being in it, as opposed to constantly reviewing and trying to make connections with things and not letting time pass. And you got to kind of take it easy and not get too obsessed with things. On the other end of it, you don't want to just let so much time go by that you're not really keeping up on your abilities, on assessing what's going on or drawing conclusions, or else you're not going to grow very much. But maybe you want to take it really easy with your journey. That's up to you, you know, free will. Lastly, I'm going to give you an assignment, and this is going to kick off your whole journal. And you're going to start with recording your past experiences. These are experiences that up till now, up until really getting interested in your psychic intuitive mediumship abilities, started practicing your psychic intuitive abilities, mediumship abilities. These are things that have happened in your past that you often recall as that could have been a psychic experience, or I think that was my intuition. What was it that tapped me on the shoulder to give me the plausibility that I'm psychic, I'm a medium, I'm an intuitive? This is how you're going to start your journal. You're going to start it with your history of your psychic stuff that could be psychic, stuff that was odd enough and paranormal, stuff that really you can't let go of. And once you start kind of filtering through that in your head and focusing on that, you'll actually start recalling other things that have happened. You'll start to see the amount of experiences that you've actually had. And this is where you can start acknowledging, holy crap, I could be psychic. That starts opening the door. It starts opening you up too to the possibility that this is for real, that this is real life. There's a whole new world for you to explore, and you are sitting in it right now. It's always with you, and it's free, and it's a pretty amazing experience. You can't buy it, but you do have to put time and effort and energy into it. But you also got to live your life too. That is your assignment, to start your journal. Find a pretty looking journal or get it set up in an app or in your Google Docs, whatever, and get started by documenting your experiences that you've already had. And that's where you're gonna start off. And today you are starting a whole new journey in understanding your journey, and it's so exciting, and I'm so excited for you. Now, let's take a look at my journal real quick so you can just kind of be nosy in what I've done with my journal. So let's take a look. So fun. All right, so this is the first page of my journal. And as you can see, I have an index page. And this index page allows for me to write linearly in my journal. And I have my different categories there. So I have my index page, and from there, what I did was I just documented my past psychic medium readings. So these were done, throughout the years, and these are about me. These were me going to psychic mediums and them reading me. You can see it's kind of a lengthy section, and it's interesting to look back on these things and think like what happened after and what it pertains to. There was one in here I want to show you. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, it's right here. So, this lady, November 9th, 2012. I don't remember who she was, but I remember her saying that there would be changing vehicles with a car coming. And as you can see, I wrote to the side, crashed vehicle a week or so later into a deer on the interstate. So that's when I went from a Ford Focus to a RAV4, which is what I wanted for a vehicle anyway. So it's really interesting to see that she said on November 9th, 2012, that there would be a change in vehicles. And a week later, in fact, there was. And believe it or not, wasn't my first car accident. I'm a good driver, okay? I also have my psychic past, which is something I wanted you guys to start your journals with. And as you can see, I broke it up by sort of like childhood, adolescence, and it kind of goes on to here. This is all the stuff that I could recall. I mean, it's not a whole ton of stuff. And then this was the day that lives forever in infamy now for me, my one-day mediumship course in the fall of 2018. And these were the notes that were passed out to me that I just documented on in my book for my own knowing. As you can see, I documented what the clairs are, so I could have a better understanding of what the hell I'm working with. And it just goes from there with synchronicity, raising your vibration, grounding. And so those were the notes that started this workshop. Here is an example of me wanting to write out what it is that's going on in my brain. So this was part of a guided meditation in which we were finding the special room in our brain where we talk to spirits. I must say I don't use this room anymore, but this is the key that I imagined opened up the door. You can tell because it says, my key. And this is the spirit that I talked to. It was just like a light. It wasn't a physical being. And this was my first experience doing a guided meditation. A little sneak peek into my own journal. You can see I date it and I categorize it. Here's my meditation from March 18th, I'm guessing, 2019. So you can see what came of my meditation, little notes. Oh, this was a cool exercise we did for the ongoing development stuff I kept doing. We were given a picture, but it was in an envelope, and we were supposed to imagine what was on the picture, and I imagined a bird. Now, it was very different than the bird that ended up being on the picture, but hey, it was still a bird. Give it to yourself, Sarah. See, that's my problem, is I get bogged down in the details instead of just being like, bird. No, it was an exotic bird in a rainforest, and then it turns out being a cardinal on a snowy branch. But hey, it was a bird. Sarah, give it to yourself. I still don't, but that's okay. A little bit there. Oh, and that's where it ends, and I have plenty to add in there that I have yet to do. So there you go. That's a look at my psychic journal in my lectern 1917 in multiple languages, because, you know, I can read German. I can't. Or French. But this index page is crucial to this book, which I think I'm going to actually redo. So there you go. That's my journal. It's humble, it's mystifying, and it provides me so much insight on my journey. Well, that does it for NextGEN Medium this week, where we're doing the psychic journaling, but really it's spiritual because it's more than just psychic. It's also intuitive and mediumship, baby. Piling it all together, putting it in a book, and it's your book. It's about you. I'm excited about it, and I hope you're excited about it, because this is how you can really gain some insight in your abilities. Check out more at my blog at nextgenmedium.com. You can check out my podcast too, also in that blog post. So that does it for this week. I'll chat with you next week on NextGEN Medium, the vlog.